grab a front row seat to the untold stories as we talk about how to live life on your terms. You're officially part of the inner circle. Welcome to Courtside with Courtney. And don't worry, I comped your ticket. Welcome back to another episode of Courtside with Courtney. We are going to get juicy today, shocker. And I'm going to do a little updated Q&A. I have my phone with all of your questions. Well, like tons of your questions. I picked some of my favorite ones that I thought were the most interesting or the juiciest. We have done other Q&As, but this one is going to be up to date, ready to go. Let's get into it. I love you guys. Question number 1. How did you and your boyfriend meet? I think that's like a whole episode. So I think I'm going to save that one for an entire new episode. I've also been getting questions. Did I get a dog? It's my boyfriend's dog at the house. So low-key, yeah, I got a dog. I would love to hear more about your music journey and time at Berkeley. I had the best time at Berkeley, but it's such a different college experience than most. We didn't really have sports teams. We had like the Jazz Cats, which I think is ice hockey or something, but I never went to any of those sporting events. Berkeley is in Boston. If you're unfamiliar, there's Berkeley, Cal Berkeley, and then there's Berkeley College of Music, which is in Boston. Very international school. So a lot of culture, also got a lot of culture living in Boston, which was incredible. And there's so many other schools in Boston that there's like tons of other schools to go to for sporting events. You had like BU, you had Harvard, you had Boston College, you had, my family was Notre Dame fans or is Notre Dame fans. So we would go to like a BC game to go watch Notre Dame or go to a Harvard game or go wherever. Like there's so many schools in Boston. It's laden with schools that you still got those experiences, but Berkeley itself was not like a sports school. And obviously strictly music. I will say an experience thing with Berkeley is everyone is so talented that I learned, or personally I felt like you feel like a big fish in a small pond in your hometown. Whether you grew up someplace that was like a really big city or someplace that was a small town, you're probably one of the more talented people in your area because Berkeley is the best modern music school in the world. And so it's like all the most talented music kids ever, basically, that want to study it and that want to go to school for it. So even if you were like the coolest kid in your school, the coolest kid, not coolest, but like best kid in your school, best kid in your area, like you always played shows, always played gigs, you get to Berkeley and it's like 5 million people that are better at you than everything, more talented. I mean, it made me feel, I was like, I can play guitar, I can play piano, I sing, I write. I got there, I was like, holy shit, I can't do anything. Like I don't know if insecure isn't the word, but it's really humbling. It's very humbling because you can be confident in what you do and you look to the left and the like girl sitting next to you or the guy sitting next to you plays like 14 instruments and like he's playing drums with one hand while he's playing like the fiddle with his foot. And you're like, how the fuck? Like, so everyone is more talented than you, which is just like, it's humbling, which was a really good experience. And you learn a lot, you grow a lot. Ooh, because you're surrounded by people who are just so talented or like naturally really gifted at something. It's crazy. It was a great experience and living in the city too, but so cold. I remember walking down Mass Ave or Boylston, like after getting groceries in Boston, and I'd be walking down the road and I'd get back to my little apartment and I just have like cuts in my arm from the plastic grocery bags, like digging into them. There really weren't Ubers, there were cabs, but I didn't have enough money to get a cab. So I was like walking pretty much everywhere unless I was going like super far. And then I took the T, which is like the underground like subway system basically. And I always got lost. If you know anything about me, you know, I have no idea where I'm going ever. And so imagine me trying to do that. So I tried to walk as much as I could everywhere, but I was always freezing cold and I always had like, you know, blisters on my feet and marks on my arms. So it was a great experience, but college also teaches you like how freaking expensive toilet paper is. So things you don't think about until you're in college and you're like, why is this so much money right now? The good old days. Any new products coming with Dibs? Tons of new products coming with Dibs. We have some really amazing things coming out. So much good stuff to come. If you guys frequently see me, a hot tip, if you frequently see me like using something, but you can't see the container of it, I don't show it because usually I'd be like, this mascara is blah, blah, blah. This bronzer is blah, blah, blah. Like if you don't see me showing you something, there's a good chance I'm working on it. How to get over a toxic situationship when you don't want to move on but need to. I think this is all about perspective, to be honest. At the end of the day, you shouldn't want a man. You should want the right man. We oftentimes as women get caught up in feeling this like desire to, what do they think about me? Do they like me? Do they love me? How do they feel about me? Are they attracted to me? When really the question that you should be asking yourself is, why do you like him? Are you attracted to him? His personality? Is he kind? Is he ambitious? Is he interesting? Does he treat you well? Is he pursuing you? Is he smart? Is he doing anything for you? Like, do you even like this man? Are you attracted to who this person is? I meant like from a personality standpoint, physically, whatever. Like, are you attracted to the person that you're with? Are you inspired by him, or do you just want him to like you? Because at the end of the day, it is not a flex to have a man. At the end of the day, it's not a flex to have a partner. At the end of the day, it's not a flex to have a relationship. It is a flex to have the right relationship. It is a flex to have the right man for you. It is a flex to have the right partner for you and work on things and go through things and learn and grow together and wake up every day and choose each other. That's a flex. It's not a flex to just have someone. Anybody can have somebody. What are you insecure about right now? That's a good question. What am I insecure about right now? I'm really not feeling insecure about anything right now, to be honest. I think this year has been a massive goal for me to move through caring about what other people think about me in general. And so really then the question is like, how do you feel about yourself? Once you remove other people's opinions and expectations and stuff on you, you get down to like, what am I really insecure about? There was a time when I was insecure about my boobs are really saggy. There's a time when I was insecure about my nose. And then I realized like, I don't really want to look like everybody else, to be honest. Like I've learned to really like my nose, and doesn't mean I always love it from every angle and this and that, but it's like, I've learned to work with it and I love it now because I feel like it makes me me. It's like the focal center point of your face. Like you just learn to love what you got and change what you want. And obviously I changed my boobs, and I don't really think I have a personality insecurity right now. And I'm not really feeling physically insecure about anything, even little things, right? Like I feel like I used to have like a bigger butt and I haven't been lifting and my butt's flat as fuck right now. And I just genuinely don't care. You know, I'm kind of into it. I feel like it's a vibe. So I think it's all about learning to love yourself in general. And then you have less insecurities when A, you don't compare yourself to other people, and B, you just don't even compare yourself to old versions of yourself. Because I have a theory that I think we're all going to look back one day. Like I just turned 37 years old and I'm looking at myself in the computer laptop right now. And I'm like, damn girl, you look good. And you know what? When I'm 50, I'm going to be looking at my 37-year-old self and be like, oh, like, did I enjoy it? When I'm 60, I'm going to be like, man, I looked good at 40. So I think you have to try to learn to be present with yourself and enjoy even your least favorite things about yourself, or even the things that you're more insecure about, because have the perspective to recognize that one day you'll want all those things back. One day, the things that you felt a little insecure about at the time, you'd kill for. So I think trying to like be present in the moment and focus less on things like physical appearance and more like who you are and what you bring to the table. Because truth be told, like that's why I'm confident. It's not because of the way that I look. It's because of the person that I am. And I've grown to become more confident with time because I've been through some shit. And if you've been following, you know that. But I've been through stuff and I've fallen off the horse and I have always gotten back on. And that's why I'm confident, because I'm resilient and I trust myself and I believe in myself. And I know that whatever life throws at me, I'll throw it back. I'll always stand up. I'll always get back on the horse. That's why I'm confident, not because of the way that I look. Obviously, everybody has days when they feel less confident or less confident about themselves in any way, right? Like could be your career, could be your friendships, could be your physical appearance, could be whatever. But if you have a deeply rooted sense of self, I think those things eventually start to melt away with time and you start to appreciate them. Also, do less things that you don't like. Like if I know I never feel good when I wear a shirt that's like super poofy on the top because it makes me feel like kind of top heavy, don't wear it then. Like dress for your body, wear makeup that makes you feel good. Like do things, double down on what works for you. I like got on a whole tangent there and I skipped over what I was feeling insecure about. How to get over a toxic relationship in general. A situationship is also perspective. My ADD is kicking in, but basically recognize that you don't just want anybody. You want the right person for you. And you recognize when you start to value yourself that you shouldn't want to accept something toxic. Like, why would you put yourself in that place? Every day that you stay in a toxic relationship or situationship, you're chipping away at your sense of self. You're chipping away at your confidence. You're chipping away at what you have spent time building. You're chipping away at what makes you you and your worth and your confidence. And the minute that you start doing that, just recognize you're going to have to go and build that all back. Anytime in my life when I have allowed someone else to chip away at my confidence, or I have stayed in a situation that I shouldn't have for even a day longer than I should have, my confidence took a hit every time. And my sense of self took a hit every time because I knew better and I allowed myself to stay. And the fact that you're saying in this, and that was obviously when I was much younger, but the fact that you're saying in this, a toxic situationship that you know you need to leave means you know better. And if you know better, you can do better. And if you take just the step to leave the situation, you'll already be a little proud of yourself. And I think people get so caught up in so hard. How do I leave? You just leave. Like, it's not that hard. You got to rebuild the next day and that's fine. You wake up and the sun is still shining. I remember being sad about a boy in like high school, like obviously it was 9 million years ago. And I don't even remember the exact situation, but I just remember my mom being like, the sun's going to rise tomorrow. And I always adopted that mentality. The sun's going to rise tomorrow. Who cares? Like, I promise you will not remember this and it will feel so incredibly irrelevant one day. The sun will always rise. Eventually you'll get what you deserve. But you can't do that. You can't end up with the right person if you don't leave the wrong one. You can't end up in a situation that you deserve if you aren't willing to walk away from one that you don't deserve or someone that doesn't deserve you. Like, you can't end up in the right situation if you stay stuck where you're not meant to be. So have a little strength. You got it. Just do it. Set a boundary with yourself. I feel like I always see these TikToks where people being like, I texted my ex. Like, why? Why? Like, who cares? Like, why would you want to text your ex? Like, he sucks. It's just like, it's easy. The way that you don't do that is you just don't do it. If the thought pops in your mind and you're like sitting around single and you're like, oh, I could text my ex. No, like I set a boundary with myself. I'm not doing it. Just don't do it. Like, be stronger than that. Like, have better boundaries with yourself. I think my best guy friend is in love with me. What do I do? Unsure. I want to cross that line. Oof. Okay. Big sister, tough love here. Unless you think that this is your person, do not cross the line. Because if you cross the line, you cannot uncross it. And then when it doesn't work out, not to be like jaded and dark, but again, unless you have like this inner gut feeling like this is my person, risk it all, go for it. Just recognize you'll forever change the friendship and you will forever change the dynamic. You cannot go back. So if it doesn't work out with him and you end up dating someone down the line, they will not be okay with the fact that you dated this person. They were in love with you or you were in love with them or whatever. You can't go back and just like decide to be friends later. So really ask yourself if it's worth the risk. I wouldn't do it if it were me, unless I thought I had like, it was absolutely like, if I were you and I thought this was my person, worth the risk, just know you're jeopardizing the friendship and you 90% might lose the friendship in the future. So if it's worth it to you, by all means, but I would say most of the time it's not worth crossing the line. And when you do find that right person for you, I think you'll look back and be glad that you didn't cross the line because it gets murky and muddy and you can't uncross it. Like I said, anyone, and you know what, if it doesn't work out with him, he could end up getting a girlfriend down the line and then she's not going to be cool with you because you tried to make it work with him. Like, it's just messy. And I just feel like if you can avoid the mess, you should. How to get into the groove with a new partner. Integrate lives, figure out sex, etc. It feels awkward. To be honest, there will always be hard moments in life and in situations and in relationships, but I don't think it should feel awkward. If you're feeling like uncomfortable in the situation, it might be because the person's not right for you. I think there will always be some adjustments and some acclimating to a situation. But if you feel uncomfortable, you might be feeling uncomfortable for a reason. So I would ask yourself if you really genuinely feel like this is the right person for you. Certain things should feel easy, like not easy in the sense that it's no effort. Like it will always be effort to wake up and choose intentionally to choose someone over and over and over again takes effort and it takes intentionality. But I think that you should feel at ease with your decision and it should feel like a no-brainer, if that makes sense. Even on a hard day, even on the hardest day with the right person, it will feel like a no-brainer. So remember that. If you're feeling awkward, might just not be, the person might be wrong. I also think that when it comes to sex, like communicate, have conversations, say, I really like this. I don't love this. I would love more of this. Like I think being able to feel open and communicate with the person that you're with is super important. And again, if you can't have those conversations, y'all, my Botox be kicking in. She feels fresh right now. I'm like, just know I'm raising my eyebrows and my heart. They're just not going anywhere right now. Oh, the bitch is fresh. Okay. You should be able to have those conversations. And if they can't have those conversations with you or you don't feel comfortable having it with them, then again, next. How to make sure you're not being selfish in a relationship. I think the fact that you even ask this question is not selfish. The fact that you're even mindful enough and have enough self-awareness to be thinking about the fact that you don't want to be selfish is a good sign to me. I would say just think about the other person's perspective in certain situations. Think about how they're feeling, why they could be feeling like that. How could you go out of your way occasionally to make their day a little bit easier and a little bit better? And start there. And then ask if they're doing the same thing for you, because obviously that has to be reciprocated. Bestie is dating a married man. I don't support it, but I'm still here when shit hits the fan. You guys, I just can't deal with girls like this personally, because look, at the end of the day, let me be so for real with you. This man is married. He made a commitment to someone that's not you and has so little respect for that person that he's having an affair with you, has so little respect for you that he's still married to her. In what world do you want someone with that low of moral character? Like, that's just gross to me. Like, it's unattractive. I could never like someone that valued me so little that I was like on the side and they would like go home at night. Like, it's just, it's so morally wrong that like, and again, this is not a judgment on if you get I'm divorced, obviously. So if you get married, you marry the wrong person, you don't have a good relationship, they don't treat you with respect and kindness, they cheat on you, like whatever it is, leave the situation, go date whoever. But if you are in a relationship with someone else, whether you're dating them, if you just started dating them, or you're engaged, you're married or whatever, and you are having an affair with someone else, like you're a loser. Like, and at the end of the day, how do you find that attractive in a man? And so look, you are not your best friend at the end of the day. You can't, like, you're not her keeper. You can't dictate what she does or who she does it with. But at the end of the day, like, you do need to be mindful of who you're surrounding yourself with. And I would ask yourself if you want to be close friends with someone that's having an affair with a married man. Because for me, it's like, I don't know, would she do that to you? How to be less defensive in conversations. I have worked really hard on this. This has not come easy to me naturally. I'm like ready to go. This is hard. I posted something on my Instagram this morning saying growth and change can feel hard when you evolve. I think about it almost as like you're cracking past a certain part of your shell and pushing out like the new version of yourself, evolving into the new, more beautiful, bigger, vibrant, evolved version of yourself. And that's going to be hard. Like, that's going to take some work. It is hard to be less defensive in conversations because it requires the death of your ego. And it's so hard. I have worked on this in my relationship and made a lot of progress. And I'm really proud of myself for that, to be honest, because like my natural instinct is like, you can't do this and I'm this. And it's like, kill your ego. It's not benefiting you. Kill your ego. if you can get to the root of the problem, I would say how to be less defensive in conversations. If you trust your partner, I trust the person that I'm with. And so for me, I'm able to like let the walls down. If you trust the person to hold your heart well, so be mindful of who you give this to, who you bestow this upon, be mindful. But if you trust the person that you're with and you are building something and you are growing towards something, being defensive will never serve you. So I would recommend trying to put yourself in their shoes in every situation. You don't have to necessarily agree with them, but listening to their point and understanding them. I think one way you can be less defensive is talk less, listen more, learn to listen more, and just fully hear out their point. Don't feel the need to jump in and say, well, I think this, or turn the situation around and you did this. Just sit and listen to what they have to say and take accountability before you have any sort of rebuttal or sharing of your point. Because if you think they're wrong and they think you're wrong, you could both be valid in your feelings and something's got to give. At the end of the day, the goal of a healthy relationship should be to work together as a team for the greater good, not just did I win or did you win? It's did we win? And did we win can only be accomplished when both people are willing to bend and be malleable and flexible and learn and grow. And so sometimes it's their job to be flexible and sometimes it's yours in any given situation. And by being defensive, you're putting up this like wall of I'm not budging. And that is rarely ever helpful, probably never helpful. And so I would say, listen more, talk less, let the person get their full point across, address their point before you worry about your point. So be a little bit less selfish in this situation or like just more self-aware, I suppose, and hear their full point out and acknowledge it. You're valid for feeling the way that you feel. I am sorry that I made you feel that way. That was not my intention. I felt blah, 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 blah. So acknowledge their point first. Apologize if you need to for making them feel some type of way. You can either apologize for what you did or for how you made them feel. Because even if it wasn't your intention, if you hurt their feelings or made them feel some type of way, it's so important to take accountability for that before you say what you are feeling. Oftentimes being defensive comes from this need to like, I need to get my point across. Like I need to share how I feel and where I'm at. And I need you to hear that first. When in reality, again, the goal should be how can we work as a team to, it's us against the problem. It's not us against each other. It takes time too. And it takes being with the right person. I think like being with the right person sometimes looks like healing through things together and working through things together. What is the most challenging thing about parenting? Patience. I think sometimes it's easy to feel impatient in certain situations and then recognizing, okay, you're 7, you have big feelings. We don't have to agree on this point. You feel this way. Like, again, just coming to someone else's place that they're at and seeing them and loving through that. And so I think sometimes it's easy to feel impatient in certain circumstances with kids because they're kids and they have moments and they have fits and they have just, big feelings. And we do too, right? As adults. And sometimes it's, it can be hard in those moments. I think overall, I feel really patient with Kinsley. I would say most of the time, I think doing it all is hard. And I think that's just something that women in general struggle with. Like we're trying to be really amazing moms and show up for ourselves. And we're also just humans and individuals and we're business leaders and we're partners and girlfriends and wives and moms and we need to go to the gym and make dinner and like do all sorts of shit. You don't have to make dinner, obviously. Order Uber Eats or make your man make dinner. But like the point is, I feel like as women, oftentimes we're doing 900 things. It was a priority for me this year to cook more and make dinner more. And I actually feel like all in all, I feel more feminine personally doing that. And I've been enjoying that just like moment at night to do that. But I think in general, one of the more challenging things about being a parent is you're also just a person and you have to take care of yourself as a person and your kid and the other people around you. And I think sometimes That's why it's important to pick like good partners and have good friends to lift you up and all that. But I think even as a kid, I still agree with this answer because I remember thinking like, oh, your parents are invincible. Your parents are like superhumans. They're the best and they're incredible. And I have the most incredible mom in the world and I had the most incredible dad. And there was still a moment in my life when I was like, oh my God, you guys are people. Like you're just people too. Like you have your own struggles and things that you go through. And so I think being a parent, the hardest part is also being a person. It's having all of your own things and having to still show up every single day. When my dad passed away, Kinsley was 6 months old and I had to show up and be a mom to a 6-month-old baby every single day. I didn't get to go grieve and hide and retreat and crumble. I had to show up and be a mom every day. And obviously it's my greatest privilege. And at the same time, I'm a person and I still have really hard days. And so showing up for your kid or kids on your hardest days as a person, I think that's hard. Favorite places to shop in Austin. I like Kick Pleat. I like Valentine's boutiques. Those are both like really cute boutiques, but pricey. I like going to the Domain. I like shopping. I love Madewell. I like Aloe. I feel like I will be wearing a Saint Laurent bag and a Walmart jacket. And that is me to a T. Like I am such a high-low girl. I'll go to Walmart and be like, oh my God, this is the cutest thing I've ever seen. Or I'll go to YSL, buy something, and I'm probably always wearing it together. I am also obsessed with jewelry. Obviously, I've been shopping way too much at Alador for vintage jewelry. Obsessed with that. Like it's just all over the place, really. I hit the Birkenstock store way too frequently too, which is so random. But I feel like South Congress has really good shopping and the Domain has good shopping. And then just like random little one-off boutiques here and there. By George is also really nice, but I feel like hit or miss for me. I either find things I'm obsessed with or I'll go in and find nothing. It just kind of depends. A couple of vintage stores, Moss, Feathers. There's like a few other ones in Austin, but Austin shopping is getting better. There's room for improvement, but we're getting there. The Domain's definitely like really popping up a bunch of places. Oh, Aritzia. I like Aritzia and the Domain for like good basics, that kind of thing. Where do you see yourself in 20 years? In 20 years, I see myself having built an empire and a business, being a household name. I want Dibs to be a household name. And I want to create something like so incredible in that way, but for the right reasons. The amount of you guys that I meet where the products have like changed your life in a really positive way, as surface as it sounds, it's like it's given you confidence or it's given you something to connect to. That's the most important thing for me. And so I want obviously to reach as many people as possible. And I also want that to be the least impressive thing about me to a degree. I want to be known for like the person that I am and the character that I have and the partner that I am and the mom that I am and the friend that I am. And so while I want those things to be impressive because I do have so much drive and I do want to be like a boss bitch, I also, I frequently think about like the things, what can you take with you when you die? Like at the end of the day, what can you bring with you? And I think it's really just like your character and the way that you touch people's lives. And so I hope to be having the best cup of coffee I've ever had on the beach in a house, created by the things I've created and with the ability to slow down and enjoy the simple things in life. And Kinsley will be like 27. So I'm hoping, she's found somebody, but she's not married yet. And she can also like slow down and make sure she gets it right. And to have like to be married and to have that be amazing and just like have someone to share days with. And a bunch of my friends live around me and we're doing lunch and we have game nights and we probably cook and do like, I'm going to be entertaining by then. Like not I'll be entertaining, but like I want to entertain people in my home and have my house be a place where people love to come. And I think I'll probably have a place here and I'll probably have a place somewhere at the beach, but like a more chill town where you can walk to get coffee and the things that you need. And they know your coffee order. Like they know my coffee order. And then I go and walk on the beach or something. What's your iced coffee order? My iced coffee order is not currently iced because it melted in the car, but I'm really obsessed with a whole milk latte with caramel. I got a whole milk latte with a pump of marshmallow today, which is so random. I usually do like half caramel, half the time. I'm not that into vanilla for whatever reason, so I tend to go caramel, especially in the fall, because I'm not really a pumpkin spice girl either. So something random, like a marshmallow or something, or a caramel, but just not like too sweet, and it has to be whole milk. Does your boyfriend have kids? If not, are you up to having more? He does not have kids prior to me, and I would be up for having more, God willing, TBD. How long do you typically walk in the AM? I usually walk about 3 miles, and it's like one of my favorite parts of the day. I love to go, I'll walk with my boyfriend, or I'll walk with a friend, or I'll walk by myself and call a friend, put my headphones in, and it's just, I like a pretty scenery, a good coffee, stretch my legs, get some fresh air, get perspective for the day. And it allows me to like really come into the day and lock in and hustle and get things done and have a really good headspace. Like I'm a better person when I go on my morning walk. And if I don't, watch out. No matter what my fitness routine is, I'm feeling weak lately. Like I really need to get back into lifting and Pilates because I've just not been into it. Like I was going into the gym and I'd walk in, and I'm not like a force it person. I'm a listen to your body person, whether you're craving something or you're really not wanting something. Like I'm very much a listen to your body, listen to your intuition. And for me, I was walking into the gym and I was walking around and being there for like 10 minutes and it was like physically paining me. I was like, oh, I just don't feel like being here for whatever reason. I wasn't into it. It's kind of how I feel about eggs in the morning. Sometimes I really want them and sometimes I don't. And so I wasn't in the gym phase, and I was enjoying the walks because the weather's been so nice. As it gets colder, Pilates will be a bit more of a mainstay for me than walking, but I have to either do a walk or Pilates in the morning to clear my head, period. How to create a life that you want. Very independent, but don't love my life. I think you just have to start, architect your life. I think that you have to start envisioning what you want and manifesting what you want. I'll link just below in the description a whole episode on manifesting because it changed my life. And I really hope that that episode has been helpful for you guys and will be to those of y'all who have not heard it. I'll link it there. But I think you need to manifest the life that you want, and then your actions need to match your words. I say this in dating, but it's true to yourself as well. Your actions should match your words. If you want a different life, go and get it. You can. You just have to wake up every single day and choose that and put the intention into it. Shake it up, change some things, whether that's like, you know, a different role in your job, or maybe you like your job and you're looking to advance in some way. Go and get it, meaning like go show, make yourself indispensable. Like go show that you have earned other responsibilities. Get after it. Maybe it's your love life. You're not happy in your relationship. Okay, work on the relationship, improve it, or leave, depending on your situation and if they're willing to work on it with you, etc. Considering getting back with my ex didn't end badly. Should it always be never get back? I don't think it's always never get back with your ex. There are rare occasions in which I guess you could. I think most of the time it's don't get back with your ex, because I'm of the mindset if it ended for a reason. And I'm not a backwards person. So I might have like a harsh POV on this. Whenever I say like, don't get back with your ex, because I do believe don't get back with your ex, there is always someone that comments, I married my ex. It's like, that's the exception, not the rule. And so I guess you have to ask yourself if it's the exception, not the rule. And what is your intentionality behind it? Are you bored? Are you lonely? Or was this really like a mistake? Did you do something and you're like, oh my God, I miss this person so much. Like they're for me and I didn't learn and grow and now I'm ready. Like, okay. Or was it just, this person wasn't right for me, but I'm kind of bored. I'm kind of lonely. The holidays are coming up. Like you have to be really honest with yourself. Favorite Dibs blush color for fall. Is Backstage good for fair skin? I have a friend with red hair and I use Backstage on her and it looks incredible. It's just like a dab will do ya. Like a little bit goes a long way. You don't need a lot, but it's really, really beautiful on fair skin. I would just pair it with like shade 1.5 in the duo. For me personally, I'm also obsessed with shade 1 right now, shade 5.5, shade Backstage in the topper, and then also Spice Gal. Those are probably like my fall go-tos. I'm dating someone younger and feel judged for it. Advice on how to respond to comments. Mind your fucking own. Like, I hate when people make comments about stuff like this, because in what world I think it's different if you go and ask somebody's opinion, but for people to just impose their judgments on your life, sort of like their problem. So I would say respond kindly, but you could just respond in a way that sets a boundary depending on who the person is that's making the comments, because the reality is nobody really knows your situation other than you, whether you're dating someone older than you, younger than you, the same age. Most people don't have right to pass judgment on your situation because they simply don't know it. If it works for you, it works for you. I think it's all about how you feel. Ask yourself if that's an insecurity that you have, if you feel uncomfortable with it, or if it's just needing to like shut out that outside noise. Did you get a new tattoo in Chicago when you were in Chicago? If so, what did you get? I did not get a new tattoo in Chicago because I didn't have time, but I wanted one and there could be one on the horizon. What to do when all of your friends are in relationships and married and you're single? I think you have to live your life. I would say voice to your friends that you still want to be included in things. That way you don't feel left out. Like even if they're doing something that's couples, like, hey, want to come? Bring a friend, bring whoever, bring no one, show up alone. Like I think it's important to still feel included when people are, obviously I'm not single right now, but I have been the single friend in my friend group and I still go. I still show up places alone. I go by myself and I still have fun. It's so inspiring to watch the people that you love and care about in healthy relationships. I think it's motivating because it inspires you and encourages you to hold out for the right person when you witness other people having that positive experience in their life. You're like, oh, cool. Like, I'm really looking forward to that one day. I don't have it now. That's okay. Like, don't get in your head about it. It's just the timing of your life will always be different than the timing of her life and his life and her life and their life. Your life will have a different timing and that's good. That's natural. If everyone's life goes the same way in accordance to society's timeline, it ain't going to work. Like I tried it and it didn't work. I promise. For me, my life, my story has been a little bit more like this. It's been a little bit windy and I'm so glad that it has because I wouldn't be here. Don't get me wrong. There's certain things I would go back and change if I could. But my mentality is also that everything that I have experienced has led me to this moment and who I am, where I am. And those experiences have built me. And so those are seasons. Enjoy the season. It's okay to be the one single person in your friend group. Soak it up and just go and enjoy the time with your friends regardless. Don't just find someone to fill the void. What parts of your job are you feeling the most inspired by right now? I'm feeling very inspired by ideating and creating new products for you guys and the connection that y'all have to the products with Dibs. I'm feeling inspired by fall fashion and medium contrast makeup, to be so specific. What fall trends are you loving? I'm obsessed with denim on denim right now. So here for denim on denim. I feel like I keep wearing it nonstop. I'm really obsessed with neutrals and like feeling very chic right now. I'll do a pop of color, but it's probably red. Okay, guys, the juicy Q&A, love that for me. The juicy Q&A. I'm getting so tongue-tied today. I love you guys. I'll see you in the next episode of Courtside with Courtney. Let me know if you like these and I can just start scheduling them in as a regular thing. See you guys in the next one. Love you. Bye.